us.
Hello, everybody. A beautiful Monday morning here at the Canyons Radio Hall. I'm Zach Ferber. Alongside me, Tim Strong, Taylor Enns, Richard Endall. You're listening to Bread and Butter, episode numero 10.
We made it,
fam.
Jinx, dude.
We made it.
So you buy me a soda?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
If only it happened one day later, it would have been October 10th. But
That'd
I know,
too
for real.
much
you
ones
can't
and
you
zeros.
can't ask for everything. Also, it's Leif Erikson Day.
A hinga-dinga-durgan.
Okay, that has nothing to do with sports, but
Happy Leif Erikson Day. Happy number 10 of Bread and Butter. We're celebrating a special anniversary. We made it, guys.
we did it.
We're doing something right.
Doing it, dude.
We're doing something.
Or we're just not doing anything right. We're just kind of ignoring everything. But
Working or hardly working, guys. Whatever.
no, we're doing it.
A little bit of both.
We're the best.
Let's dive into some sports. We had a very exciting weekend. I'll say that. All across the map. High school football Foothill League action takes place last weekend. Some exciting games to talk about. Valencia finally back on their winning ways with a 42-14 win over Hart.
Damn.
Connor Downs, as per usual, 11 of 17, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. Moises Haynes, 9 carries, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. Javon Wilson, 4 carries, 108 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, guys, coming off that loss against Calabasas when both teams ran up the scores, it was 65-64. This was a much-needed win for Valencia.
Yeah. And last week I thought that the team in the Foothill League best suited to give Valencia a run for their money was Hart. And I think I was wrong, but yeah. The top 2 touchdown scorers in the Foothill League are Javon Wilson and Moises Haynes, and no one else is close. So Valencia is just
They're just there.
they're in a league of their own. It's just
They really are. I mean, this team is not human.
yeah, they're. It's safe to say they're the best one, I think.
Like, really, they're not human. I've seen them live a few times, and when I'm filming highlights, guys, and Connor Downs throws the ball really fast.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, he's a natural-born gunslinger. And he made my guy JT Shrout look kind of the defense, rather. Valencia, they made him look kind of silly with a few picks and a fumble. But if you're Hart, you got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off for next week.
Yeah.
Another game to talk about. This was actually pretty surprising, guys. Saugus upsets Golden Valley with a 17-0 win. Saugus alum Richard Endall enjoying it.
He bleeds blue.
He bleeds blue. Centurion blue. Golden Valley did not show up.
No, they put up 0 points.
Yeah,
So
they didn't show up. And, I mean, there were some missed calls early in the game that should have gone Golden Valley's way. But this Saugus team was in last place.
yeah, do you think they underprepared? Like they underestimated their opponent?
Very
Or-
much so.
You think
Possible, yeah.
Elijah Gragas, 7 of 16, 80 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But it was Quinn Schaefer, the running back for Saugus, 33 carries, 176 yards.
33 carries.
Yeah, he did the bulk of the action.
Damn.
That's like, here, please win us the game, sir. It's 33 carries is absurd, but it's high school, so
What are you going to do? I
you
mean,
kind of,
what are you going to do?
depending on how your team is structured, it's kind of, you kind of can depend on a guy to just win you the game like that. So
Pretty much. Our last and final Foothill League game to get to. West Ranch is now 5-0 on the year, 1-0 in league, with a 35-14 win over Canyon. Weston Egat, 15-30, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The deadly running back combo, Leron Huff, 20 carries, 127 yards, 1 touchdown, and then Javon Camacho, 92 yards in the ground. This West Ranch team, I know we say this a lot, but
game of the week.
they really, I feel like they can. I feel like
You think they can?
I think they can.
All right.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think they can.
It'd be cool.
It'd be
I would
nice.
like to see it happen.
They have a great defense,
Mm-hmm.
two-headed monster in the backfield, ready to run the ball. Quarterback can run the ball and get the job done for you.
You say they can. They might. You know?
What's your percentage?
Yeah, I know, right?
What's your percentage on that? What's your take?
I don't know. I wouldn't put money on it if that's what you're asking. But
Oh, I don't know
cool to see.
about.
I don't know. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, I'd root for them too, of course.
And lastly, I know it's not Foothill League, but my alma mater, John Burroughs High School, beat Glendale High School,
Heck yeah,
81 to 14.
Heck yeah, brother.
Yeah, so putting on a show. Not for Glendale. They were
Pretty
sad.
impressive, I would
Yeah.
say.
And when I don't have the standings in front of me, but I think they're in first place. I don't remember them losing too many games in the preseason, so they're looking good. Go Burrows.
My alma mater for doing this now.
Okay.
Marietta Valley. When I went there, years of struggling against rival high school Vista Marietta, who is known as a powerhouse.
Yep.
They've always played like Mater Dei in the CIF finals, so on and so forth. But now they're actually good. They
yeah?
beat Vista Marietta. Don't know the score, but they actually beat them. I'm gonna look that up right now, just as we're talking. But this Marietta Valley team has a 4-star wide receiver in Marquise Spiker going to Washington. He's a committed wide receiver there. Quarterback Hank Bachmere, I think he's 4-star as well. Not committed, but he's just a beast. This team is a beast team.
Tim Strong, how's your high school doing?
They're down to 8-man football, so not that great.
Okay. I mean, are they winning 8-man football? Or?
I actually have no clue.
Okay.
I don't keep up with them.
It was a 38-17 win.
8-man football's cool.
I
think.
reffed an 8-man game once.
You
It's
ref
pretty nuts.
football? That's cool.
Tim,
Are you as blind as the other ones?
don't say
Sometimes.
that about Tim.
How dare you?
That's my
I'm
guy
just
right there.
referees are
Not your
I don't know.
favorite?
They're not my fan. I'm not fans of referees, and they're not fans of me. So
What are you, a heckler?
no, it's just I could do such a better job. I think.
I don't doubt it.
See, Tim knows when he's a referee. Okay, what we got next?
We got COC Athletics, guys.
COC Athletics.
Women's
Football didn't
soccer. We'll start with women's soccer.
Where are we at?
The Lady Cougars are now on a 3-game winning streak with a 7-0 win over LA Pierce. 7-0. They put up a touchdown.
7. That's a football score.
Yeah.
Emily Aguilar, Crystal Sanchez, Jennifer Rooney, like Wayne Rooney,
Rudy.
Kyla Bradford, all put goals in the back of the net, while Haley Phipps and Kira Gunn each had themselves a brace.
You said Kyla Bradford so much on this show. I feel like we're all friends with her.
I think she scored 7 goals on the year
she's
so far.
Really good at soccer.
She put up a 7.
Like I've never met this woman, but we know about her. So I don't know.
Borderline
We
best
do that with every freaking sport. What am I talking about? But she goes to my school. You know,
She's a stud.
she is. She's good at soccer. So would you say 7 goals?
7 goals on the year. Yeah.
7
But this
goals,
isn't-
16 points
Yeah.
in 11 games.
And
It's pretty ridiculous.
I know last time we said, guys, every time she scores, it's embraces.
Not this time.
Not this time. But, I mean, she still got the
streak is
job
broken.
done. She still got the job done.
Yeah,
so
they probably.
congrats to the Lady Cougars, the soccer team,
Wait, what was
the
this?
women's soccer.
7-0.
7-0 over LA Pierce.
Oh, shit.
Was it here? It was here, right?
It was, yes.
I should have went. I was sick this
I
weekend.
thought that was like overall. I was like,
The Lady Cougars will play Bakersfield this Friday. Game time at 5:30.
You got to go there. Oh, it's at home. Bakersfield got to drive all the way down here.
Not like it's that far.
It's pretty far.
Could be. I don't know.
What is it, like an hour?
hour and a half.
That's
It's
yeah.
over an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a drive.
Whatever.
I mean,
You got
if
to take
you're
a nap on the bus.
If you're hitting 90, like we'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll get there real quick.
yeah.
Women's volleyball. Do you drive 90 like a reckless
No.
man?
In a bus?
I didn't
In a
just get
bus.
speeding ticket or anything.
Women's volleyball. They won on straight sets. And what the heck happened here? My thing just totally crossed out on me. Give me a hot minute.
Yeah, they won
They
They
beat.
didn't drop a set. So
They didn't drop a set. They beat Moore Park last Friday. In the
Moore Park was ranked like 16th coming to this game, I think.
in the state, I believe.
Yeah,
so
and
yeah.
we were 11th, so it was a close. It was 2 evenly matched teams roughly, and we shut
got
them
the
out,
job
so
done.
We did it.
And this was the WSC crossover game. And in those 2 games, last Wednesday versus Glendale, the Lady Cougars won in straight sets. They replicated it again.
We're
Against Moore Park.
dominating the scene.
They are just so dominant. They really are. And they're on a 5-game winning streak? Yeah.
Man, we are good at sports here.
The ladies are good at sports,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
the,
okay.
the ladies, heck yeah.
Men's soccer won.
Yeah. Men's soccer ends a 6-game losing streak with a 3-2 win over LA Mission. Aaron Winsick scored twice.
We'll take it.
And Cesar Dominguez scored the eventual winner in the 87th minute. So shout out to the guys ending that 6-game losing streak. Hopefully they can keep it going.
Yeah, find that momentum.
We did it.
We did.
For football, guys, we're back. Football is back here at COC, but not literally here at COC. It's just back. They were on a bye week. They'll be playing Ventura this Thursday at
On Thursday.
Ventura.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. And league play starts with that game, I think.
I believe
it's their last out of conference game, and league starts next week.
Oh,
Their
yeah?
conference starts next week.
Oh, I was
the
mistaken.
Cougars
Oh
are.
no, you're right, Taylor. It is league.
I'm
game,
not
or
mistaken.
conference game.
Boom.
I'm
It
the
is a
best.
conference game, yes. That's the start of conference play. So these are where the games really matter.
Yep.
The Cougars are 4-1 on the year, 3-0 on the road.
And we're going on the road.
And
So
we're going on the road, so
On the road again.
will tradition stay true?
I hope so. I
Me
mean,
too.
looking at the stats, let's see here. They average 492.4 yards a game
That's a
from
lot.
Andrew Burrito and company. Rushing-wise, 208. Oh, altogether, 208 yards rushing, 283 passing. And they usually put up 36 points a game.
That's a lot.
And they allow 125 yards rushing, so they're limiting their opponent, but they're giving up quite a bit of passing, almost identical to what they're averaging. They're averaging 283, while they're giving up nearly 282, and they give up nearly 31 points a game.
But
So-
we score more, though.
We do score
Yeah,
more,
Yeah.
so I think that's all that really matters.
Tim, what are you expecting? Think we're going to get the W?
In Ventura, yeah, I think they will. I expect them to win their conference after seeing the tough non-conference schedule that they played, and were able to go 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I see no reason that unless something just devastating happens, I
Yeah.
see no reason that they shouldn't win their conference this year.
And Tim, we're at pretty much all the home games,
Yeah.
and we always say like this team can do it. Even when they lost to Fullerton, they were right there. They just they
hung
couldn't
with
get the
number
job
one team
done.
in the state.
Mm-hmm. They hung on, and
They
this team
beat-
could do it.
They beat a really good Long Beach team, beat a really
Yep.
good Grossmont team. So
We're in there.
yeah, exactly.
We're in there like swimwear. as people would say.
Hashtag go Cougars.
Moving on, MLB postseason.
Yep.
We're finally talking about baseball after a much lengthy wait. Keep you updated right now. The Astros are beating the Red Sox 2-1 in the third inning, bottom of the third, rather. So far, this postseason's been exciting, in my opinion. The Yankees and the Red Sox avoided sweeps last night. Don't know how it's looking right now for the Red Sox. I mean, it is still kind of early. The Nationals will play the Cubs in Chicago. Series tied at 1 apiece. Max Scherzer will face Jose Quintana. Scherzer is dealing with a bit of a hamstring issue that might cut his start. Jose Quintana was the piece of a trade deadline, or not trade deadline, but in that period of trade deadline, which he has helped Chicago pretty well.
Yeah, and when they first got him, he was struggling a little bit, but towards the back end of the season, he picked it up a lot. So he's got a little bit of momentum coming into this one.
I would agree so. The Yankees will face Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer gave the Yankees a run for their money last time. What was it, 5 no-hit innings,
Yeah.
I believe? 5 no-hit innings. And the Yankees will throw out Luis Severino, who looked terrible in that wild card start.
He looked terrible in all 2/3 of that inning.
Yeah, he didn't get through an inning. He gave up 2 home runs, 4 runs against the Minnesota Twins. I think it was just the nerves.
Yeah?
I think it really was the nerves. This kid is the ace of the Yankees rotation. And what is he, only 23?
Yeah, this is going to be – you never know with the Yankees and the Indians, but I'm a fan of pitching matchups and
Last time was a pitching matchup.
close 1-0 games.
Yeah.
So Trevor Bauer is just really fun to watch, I think.
And highlight Trevor Bauer. He's a what is he? Valencia?
I thought it was Hart.
Hart?
I thought it was Hart. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was from Hart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, because it was him and Montgomery in the World Series last year, and Montgomery also went to Hart.
He went to they both went to Hart.
Montgomery on the Cubs.
Yeah. Montgomery on the Cubs. He might get
Man,
some
there's-
time in there. There's some Valencia products, Santa
This
Clarita
Valley,
products. There's a lot of talent here. And the number 1 pick of the MLB draft, right, Hunter Green,
Oh yeah, he's from here. Yep.
he's from Stevenson Ranch.
Yep.
A lot of talent. Anyway,
And then we got.
the Dodgers.
Los Doyers.
That's our team, baby.
Doyas.
I mean,
Yu
it's your
Darvish
team.
and the Dodgers will look to sweep the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Zach Greinke will take the mound for the Diamondbacks. Greinke, the former Dodger himself, is 2-2 on the year against his former team. For me, as a huge Dodger fan, no bias intended, but this has to be one of Darvish's best outings.
It has to be. It really does.
It really does, because this Diamondbacks team is great. Even though the Dodgers they won 8-5 and 9-5, they got to get to Greinke early, and they got to
Yeah.
just keep it going.
It's
And
literally-
Darvish,
yeah.
and Darvish just has to at least give us 6 innings.
Who pitched for the Dodgers last game?
It was Rich Hill.
Rich Hill?
Rich Hill went, I believe, 4 innings. He gave up 3 runs.
So they put Darvish ahead of Alex.
Alex Wood will be starting Game 4 if needed.
I don't know. I think if I was the Dodgers, I would have just put Alex Wood out there right now and just get the W and go home. But Darvish makes me nervous, man. Ever since they got him on the trade deadline, he's been on and off.
He won his first 2 games, and then he was a little off. And then he picked it up towards the tail end of the season. He went 2-0. Darvish, if that is the Darvish form, with the one we saw the first 2 starts and then the last 2 starts, 6 innings, 10 Ks, maybe give up 1 run. And if the Dodgers can at least put 2 or more runs on the board early on Greinke, I think this is a sweep and a possible pool party in Arizona.
Don't do that again.
Pool party.
Didn't everyone get so mad?
Yeah,
last
everybody
time?
got mad. Who cares? Pool party.
Everyone else. Yeah.
Pool party.
But I don't know. Zach Greinke is, in my opinion, just like he's the guy that can get the job done more than Darvish. You know, he's the guy you throw out there and be like, "Win us the game," and Darvish is like not that guy, in my opinion. But
the
they did
Diamondbacks.
trade for him to be that guy. He just hasn't been. I think you know.
Greinke was signed to an offseason.
Yeah, I was talking about Darvish.
Oh, Darvish.
was-
I'm sorry. Yeah. Who knows how that will go?
Yeah.
And then just got a notification here from the Red Sox game. Chris Sale enters the game in relief in the 4th inning. So Chris Sale,
Desperation mode there.
yeah,
He's
Chris
got an 11.81 ERA in the postseason.
in his
so.
first postseason start. Chris Sale,
Eh. I don't know. Chris
But-
Sale's a great pitcher, though. I mean,
he's a great regular season pitcher. You know
Yeah.
who's also a great regular season pitcher? Clayton Kershaw.
yeah.
And then the thing with Clayton Kershaw is he looked so good going into the 6th inning, and then he gave up 2 home runs.
Yeah, I mean,
He gave up
it's
back-to-back
Clayton
jacks.
Kershaw. But
Anyway, moving on to college football now, guys. Iowa State, huge upset over Oklahoma in Norman. Kyle Kemp, 18 of 24, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns. Trevor Ryan, 4 receptions, 99 yards, and a touchdown. While Oklahoma's Baker Mayfield, he had quite a good game, guys. 24 of 33, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Trey Sermon, 90 rushing yards on the ground. It was just Iowa State's game.
yeah,
It really was. It was just the game for Iowa State, rather.
there were a few mistakes on Oklahoma's end that,
Trey Sermon fumbled the ball.
that led to Iowa State getting that W.
Mm-hmm. It was just something, and it kind of it hurt Oklahoma in the top 25. They dropped all the way to 12th. They're down 9 spots,
Yeah,
while the rest of the 9 spots ahead of Oklahoma now are all up by at least 2 or 3 or 1.
yep. Washington State actually jumped up 3 spots. They're number 8 now. I don't even know who they played, but they jumped 3 spots. They played Oregon.
Oregon.
And won. Yeah, so
Mhm.
that's why.
Another game to talk about, Michigan State, an upset over Michigan in the Big House. Brian Lewerke of Michigan State, 11 of 22, 94 yards, a touchdown, and a rushing touchdown. Kenny Wilkes of Michigan State had 9 total tackles and 2 sacks in a very defensive game. And then David Dowell of Michigan State also had 2 interceptions. Michigan doesn't have their starting quarterback though.
Yeah, they don't have. Oh God, what's his name? I'm not going to think of it, but
Spates?
number 3,
Spates.
and then number 8, O'Corn in that game also got hurt, so they were down to their third string.
O'Corn looked miserable. 16 to 35, 198 yards, three interceptions.
Yeah, he got. I don't know if he got hurt, but there was a play that I saw where he just got rocked, and like there was debate whether or not it was like a late hit on the sideline but either way, it looked like it hurt. So,
Well, Michigan had 5 total turnovers.
yeah, that's
a record.
If you do that, you're probably not going to win your game. So,
No.
I'm going to say it right now.
Claims.
The Big Ten is more competitive and playing better football than the SEC.
It's been like that for a while, I think.
This season for sure, but not in like past seasons. I don't even think SEC is better than the Pac-12. The SEC is
Not
just
this year.
disappointing.
SEC's a one-team train this year.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? They got Georgia's number 4
Oh yeah, okay, 2 teams.
and Auburn's number 12. That's
Auburn
it.
is number 12, but I agree with you. The SEC, you could really pick out who's going to
Yeah.
do what.
I mean, with the beginning of this year, LSU just beat Florida this weekend.
Yeah, 17-16.
Yep. But for the first 3 weeks of the season, LSU's offense was just awful. They could not move the ball down the field and score.
And Ed
Florida
Orgeron, yeah.
looked wishy-washy.
But they're always ranked. But, they're not ranked
They're not ranked
anymore.
anymore.
They're dropped
were
out of the
until they
top
lost.
25.
Another team that I can't remember.
Which one?
Oh my gosh, I'm dumb. Whatever. The SEC is disappointing. That's what we should take away from this.
The
But,
SEC is disappointing. Okay. Well, all right.
if you're not Alabama or Georgia now, I don't even care to watch the game that much. I would much rather watch any team in the Pac-12 than any team in the SEC that isn't Alabama or Georgia.
Leading up to the Pac-12, SC cruised their way into a victory with a 38-10 win over Oregon State.
Yeah,
It
we
was
saw
a
that
game
coming.
we all kind of saw coming.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, 23-35, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jones II had 79 yards rushing with a touchdown. And if you're USC,
Could you imagine if SC would have lost that game?
I think all hell might have broke
The
loose.
panic button
Oh,
would have been
man.
smashed.
Yeah, Clay Helton would be on the hot seat, but
Yeah.
he's not right now.
They won the game. They did what they were supposed to.
They did what they were supposed to do versus a terrible Oregon State team. Next, they will play Utah, who just lost to Stanford. They barely lost. They lost by 3.
That's what I'm saying, man. Pac-12, it's always taking games off each other.
Yeah. We'll talk about the top 25 right quick. We already know who's 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's
Alabama and
Alabama
Clemson.
and Clemson.
Penn State, our real dark horse team here. That's what we were saying quite
Yes.
early.
Yeah,
They're number 3.
they are.
Saquon Barkley was held to.
He had 76 yards, but 50 receiving yards, I think.
Yeah, he was held a little bit. Georgia number 4. Georgia's really been putting in work on a lot of teams. Washington number 5. TCU at 6, Wisconsin 7, Washington State at 8. They jumped 3 spots. Ohio State finally getting recognition. They're in the top 10 at number 9, and Auburn number 10. Other notable teams in the top 25, we say SC, they're up to 13 now. Michigan State, or I beg your pardon, Michigan dropped 10 spots to 17 as Michigan State now enters the top 25 at number 21. San Diego State remains the same at 19, and guys, I don't think San Diego State's getting a lot of love.
No respect.
No respect whatsoever. I mean, they're, second week in a row being at 19, and they're 6-0.
I think it's a third week. No, they were like 21 before,
Second or third.
after beating Northern Illinois. But still, damn Mountain West Conference.
Like,
No love.
I know Rashad Penny was held to 150
150.
yards. But,
Held.
But
150 is a lot of yards, okay?
But South Florida and San Diego State are both undefeated.
Yep.
Do you guys think maybe they should have a few spots ahead of teams like Notre Dame, who's 16, Virginia Tech,
Well,
who's 15?
I remember Notre Dame's only loss was to Georgia, who's number 4 currently, so that's justified, I think. I think Virginia Tech lost to, I want to say NC State. I can check right now. It was Clemson. It was close to same state.
Same conference.
You were in the right.
SC's got a loss against the top 10 team.
Oklahoma State. Has a
Oklahoma
loss.
doesn't, but they just lost. So all these teams that have one loss, I think, are justified. But
Okay.
I think San Diego State should be getting a little more love than.
You have to at least have them
I don't know.
South Florida.
It's hard to justify. I
Seems
mean,
kinda
South
weird to
Florida.
me.
Yeah, South Florida.
They also play in a pretty underwhelming conference in the American Conference.
Yeah, South Florida. South Florida and San Diego State do not have it made.
In fact, the only ranked opponent South Florida is on tab to play is their last game against Central Florida.
And Central Florida is ranked 22nd.
Yep.
They were 25 last week. And then lastly, shout out to Navy.
In the Navy.
5-0, ranked 25. They just made it.
They did, man. Navy's fun to watch, I think. They are also now in the American Conference,
Yeah, hell yeah.
but UCF doesn't play them. I mean,
it would
USF.
make sense if they were in the American Conference.
They were independent for the longest time.
Right. So was Notre Dame.
Notre Dame still is independent.
Oh.
So is Army and
Air,
BYU.
I was going to say Air Force, but
Air
they're
Force
in
is
the Mountain
West.
West.
Yep.
All right, guys. Before we get into the NFL, Richard,
What's up?
Wake
Got-
up.
wake up. You got some facts?
Long morning already. Yeah, let's do this. All right, already. We introduced the show. It's Leif Erikson Day.
A hinga-dinga-durgan.
For all you SpongeBob
Man, SpongeBob
fans.
just like changed culture because
Dude,
of that.
now
Yeah.
because
SpongeBob
we're
for
of
the culture.
age, SpongeBob he's an icon.
He is.
He's a legendary icon.
SpongeBob did it for the culture.
Culture.
Dude.
All right. In 1919, it was the Black Sox scandal. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, the White Sox.
Yeah.
Shoeless Joe Jackson and company through the World Series.
Yep. Made
You
a
guys ever
movie about
seen-
it.
You guys ever seen that movie about it?
I honestly
It was-
can't remember what it's called right now.
Dreams?
No,
Feel the dreams.
not even close.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Monday mornings,
Why
man.
did you say that?
That's what I'm saying.
Remember the Titans?
8 Men Out.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it came out in 1988. Who was some actors in that? Who are some actors in
I
that?
thought. Isn't?
John Cusack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, John Cusack. All right.
All right.
Yeah, it was 8 Men Out.
All right.
Yeah. The Chicago White Sox throw the World Series for money. And then they were later found guilty.
Yep.
Next up on the list, 1967. Wow. All right. 1967. Che Guevara, Argentinian Cuban physician, politician, and guerrilla leader, died today. Was born in 1928.
He was a physician.
I
didn't
guess
know
so.
that either, honestly.
Che
Did you say that?
Guevara.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Man of many talents.
He was a political leader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mainly.
He died today, right? Yeah.
He died today.
Any birthdays?
Oh yeah, we got some birthdays. Let's
Heck
see.
yeah.
Jackson Brown, 1948.
Okay. Jackson Brown, he had hits such as Running on Empty, Stay, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Doctor or My Eyes, Doctor My Eyes.
Born
I think
in
it might be a little bit.
1965. Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah,
Today.
Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Florida State coach.
Having not too great of a year.
No, he doesn't have
It's not his fault. Francois got
he
hurt.
doesn't have Francois.
Francois. Today, 1977. Brian Roberts, American baseball player.
Brian Roberts,
Roberts.
arguably one of the best second basemen in the early
2000s.
early 2000s. It's just a shame he played on a really bad Orioles team.
He was, yeah.
He
That was
a-
when
he's a great second
the
baseman.
Orioles' best players were like Brian Roberts, Nick Markakis, and like I don't even remember. Adam Jones like just got there, I think.
Was Nolan Reimold even around by that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was always shaky. A lot of strikeouts. Mark Reynolds was on that team, I think.
Mark Reynolds, yeah.
King of the strikeouts. Is that it?
Oh, last birthday. 1996. Bella Hadid, American model.
I'm older than her? Oh my god.
Bella
Oh my
Hadid,
God.
very good
So
looking.
you're saying there's a chance.
She's best friends with Kendall Jenner.
Oh yeah?
Heck
Just going to
yeah.
need to hang out in Beverly Hills for the rest of my life.
Calabasas.
So she's turned 21 because I'm 22.
Boom.
I turned 21.
Have a good
Whatever.
day, Bill Hadid.
Bella Hadid, if you're listening, my boy here.
I would like to be invited to the party, but
Yeah.
it is a Monday. I got an 8 a.m. class tomorrow, so
Preferably not.
yeah.
Well, since it is our 10th show, a very special 10, Taylor,
10th episode.
you conducted a top 10 list
I
of
did.
number 10s.
Yeah, top 10 number 10s.
And this is all sports, right?
There are no hockey players because I don't think that's a very popular number in hockey. I really can't think of any.
I feel like
so
all the hockey
that's why they're
players
not on
were
this
like
list.
80.
Yeah, there's like a whole line on the
72.
Kings were 70.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the hell?
Let's start with number 10.
Number 10 of Notre Dame fame, Brady Quinn.
Wow.
One of the best,
One of-
one of the best college football seasons at Notre Dame. Second in Heisman voting to, I think, Matt Leinart or
Leinart.
Reggie Bush, one of those.
Yeah, that was a time when Notre Dame and SC and Texas were
Brady Quinn's favorite target was Nick Samardzija. Or
Jeff
Jeff
Samardzija.
Samardzija. I don't know why I said Nick.
Jeff Samardzija,
Who's now
he
the
wa-
pitcher for the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, he was a tight end, I believe.
I think he was a receiver. He was pretty fast.
He was a great
Yeah.
football player.
Dual threat sport athlete.
Mhm.
Those are a dying breed, sadly. Number 9 is not fabled. He's a very, what am I trying to say? He's a legend for the not Houston.
Come on, get it out,
I'm-
man.
It's Monday, man. The Texas Rangers, Michael Young, third baseman.
Wow. Oh,
That's a
he
good
did
one.
Always
play
fun to
for
watch.
the Dodgers.
He did play for the Dodgers for like 20 games, I think.
Yeah, he was in the postseason.
Number 8, one of my favorite quarterbacks to ever play for USC, John David Booty. Number 10.
What happened to him?
He went undrafted and played for the
Vikings. Yeah.
and then nothing ever happened after that.
fell off the face of the
he
earth.
came after Sanchez or Liner. I don't remember.
He
Sanchez.
was, yeah, he
Yeah,
was
definitely
before
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Oh, he was before
Oh, he's
Sanchez.
before Sanchez?
I
Okay.
think he
I don't
was-
remember.
I
He
think
played
was
a
a quarterback
season.
between Liner and Sanchez.
And it's always fun to say John David Booty, so that's why he's on the list.
Heck
Number
yeah, brother.
7, we got Toronto Raptors star DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be on the list.
He's from Compton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
City of Compton.
He went to SC.
Number 6, a little low on the list probably, but star quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, Vince Young.
Vince Young. Okay.
Upset my boys at SC in the Rose Bowl that many years ago, so got to put him on the list.
Vince Young, one
Number
of the
5,
ultimate
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks.
A bit under appreciated, I think, on this table, except for me. My boy, designated hitter for the Tampa Bay Rays, Corey Dickerson,
You did that on
had
purpose.
one of the best seasons in Rays history, that led the Rays to have their franchise record in home runs.
Yeah.
He didn't, but the whole team did.
Yeah.
Because this whole season was the most home runs hit in the MLB, right?
Right. The balls are juiced.
Number 4, little love for the rest of the people on this desk. Justin Turner,
Okay.
third baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers, in the playoffs, has a game today. Now, a lot of people won't know this guy, maybe, but my dad would kill me if he's not on this list. Ron Santo. Second baseman for the
legendary
Cubs.
Cub. Yeah.
My dad actually met Ron Santo before he passed away a few years ago. Had like a 2-hour conversation with him at a bar. It was one of the he'll remember that for the rest of his life, I think. So
Ron Santo, arguably one of the all-time best Cubs.
Yep, he's probably one of the all-time best baseball players.
Yeah.
I think.
Was he a second baseman?
I think he was either second baseman or third baseman.
Don't know. I don't know if he can get the start over Ernie.
Yeah, I mean he's up there though.
He's
you know.
up there, of course.
Number 2 is I had to put him on the list. Zach kind of doesn't want me to put him on the list, but Messi,
No,
gotta
I mean,
put him on the list.
you said
a
earlier
fair
in the
point.
show, you said Lionel Messi was the GOAT, and I
He
said
is a goat.
He's
The,
not.
the term goat gets thrown out a lot. You know.
Cristiano Ronaldo's the GOAT.
Okay.
Whatever.
He's
but I
a good
appreciate
soccer
Messi.
player.
Yeah.
Football.
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 And number 1, any guesses? He's a baseball player.
Is he still playing?
No.
No. When did he play?
For like 20 years. I don't know. He retired within the last 5 years, I think.
Oh, 10?
You're going to feel stupid when I say his name.
I feel like he's not a pitcher.
Nope.
Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones,
Oh,
number
my
1.
gosh.
Fucking got it, dude. Nice.
Chipper Jones. One of the best Braves ever.
I think he is the best Brave
Whoa.
ever.
Didn't Hank Aaron play for the Braves?
Okay, you're right. one of the. But Chipper
Still,
Jones,
Chipper Jones, one of the best baseball players ever, one of the best people ever.
yeah, he was
Love Chipper Jones.
he
Number
was a,
one,
yeah.
number 10 for episode 10.
and
on
Chipper
Bread and Butter.
Jones was a huge source for them winning the World Series back
Yep.
in the 90s.
Yep.
That was a beautiful list.
Yeah, it was a good list.
So when we
Started
hit
off with
20
Brady Quinn.
And when we hit 20,
I'll do top 10 20s because 20 20s is too much.
and when we hit to 30, 40,
30 30s.
you get to 100, it'd be a
I
five-part
can't even
series.
name like 5 30s right now.
Dude,
Oh, Steph Curry, number 1, obviously.
boom.
There you go. We don't even need a top 10 list anymore.
Number 1, number 30.
Yeah, but shout out
Shout out Chipper Jones.
underrated people on that list. Corey Dickerson.
Yeah.
And I think John David Booty's underrated.
He didn't get to prove himself.
Oh, I think Brian Cushing also wore number 10. Not on the list. One linebacker for USC went number. I don't know if it was Clay Matthews or Brian Cushing, but one of those people did. I'll look it up right now. Anyway,
Well, that
we're
was
gonna
your
go to
list.
It was a good list. It was very fun.
It was a fun list. Let's move to the NFL, guys. The Seahawks had a big win over the Rams. Final score 16-10. Russell Wilson, 24-37, 198 yards.
Brad Cushing was number 10
Yep,
at
I knew it.
USC.
Didn't make the list, but
Didn't make the list. Well, isn't Brian Cushing out for the year anyway?
I think so.
I think, yeah.
Anyway.
He gets hurt a lot. Poor guy.
No, I think he suspended for PEDs.
I think he was suspended and then he got hurt.
Oh, well,
Something like that.
it gets even worse.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, 24-37, 198 yards in that 16-10 win. Jared Goff, 24-47, 288 yards and 2 interceptions. And this game, like we said last week, could determine who wins this division. This division is terrible.
Well, other than those two teams, I think so. But
Yeah. These teams are now even.
yes,
They're both tied for first. Jared Goff threw the ball a little too hard.
he did throw the ball too hard for human hands to catch. Because if human hands can catch it, Cooper Kupp can catch it. But my boy dropped the game-winning touchdown.
Oh, it was a tough one.
And in all honesty, though, he did drop the game-winning touchdown. But what people forget about that is the throw after that. Goff threw the ball like 5 yards ahead of his receiver in the dirt, which was,
It's gonna happen.
I mean, he threw the ball a career high 46 times.
7.
And 47, yikes. And I think what the Rams just went away from their core of winning, which was just give the ball to Todd Gurley, and he only had I think 40 yards on the day. They had Tavon Austin in the backfield a lot. He had a rushing touchdown. But what gave the Rams most of the success all year and was front runner for MVP in my book last week was Todd Gurley, and they didn't give him the ball as much.
Yeah, he was very limited in this game.
And I mean, you could tell the offense just didn't get very much done. I think I saw Tavon Austin score that one rushing touchdown, and I thought they maybe had something going with him, but they didn't.
Tyler Higbee, 98 yards
Yep.
receiving. He was a bright
really
spot.
clutch
35-yard catch.
at the end to get them close to the red zone. But yeah, they used their tight ends really well that game with Higbee and Everett.
Right.
But like I said, not a whole lot going with Gurley in the run game or the receiving game. I think.
Who do the Rams play next?
I don't even know. I looked up the schedule up until this game, and then I didn't really look.
They're going to Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville.
Ooh,
Jacksonville coming off a win versus
Battle of the Rookie of the Years.
Yeah, Fournette and
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
make me
and
sad on Sunday.
Jacksonville made. Yeah,
They made a statement.
they made a statement, and so did Big Ben. 5 interceptions. He was quoted on saying after the game, "I don't know if I have it anymore."
Yeah.
And he looked off.
He threw a career high 5 interceptions that game, and it wasn't even like a lot of them were bad throws. I think 5 interceptions is obviously way too much, but I think a good 3 of them were just great plays from the Jacksonville defense.
Yeah,
It's not like he was making dumb decisions, except for maybe 1 or 2 times. But yeah, the Steelers' offense basically all year has not been the same as what we've come to know from Mike Tomlin and company.
what is this back-to-back losses now?
The NFC North, AFC North is up for grabs, in my opinion. The Browns can still win it, I think.
No
go that
wins this
far.
year,
The Ravens are the only team that look like a football team.
and they just beat the Raiders.
They did just beat the Raiders without Derek Carr.
That
But
Derek Carr, but regardless,
I say the Browns have a chance. They really don't, but
They have to win
Let's
out.
say they win out, which probably won't happen because they're not that good of a football team. But like Cincinnati still has a shot, I think. Pittsburgh maybe can turn it around. Baltimore can always choke.
who knows?
I honestly have no idea what's going to happen in that division. And we were talking about Jacksonville. I think now they have a legit shot to win that division.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the year, we were only talking about Houston and Tennessee, but Tennessee is going to be without Mariota He was out this weekend.
Yeah, they didn't have him.
And who knows what's going to happen going forward. So with Matt Castle, they have obviously less dimensions than with Mariota because
Yeah.
Matt Castle's not a great running quarterback. But
Let's segue over to your San Diego
my
Superchargers.
Oh, you said San Diego Chargers.
Oh my bad, Los Angeles. I don't think.
Dude, now it's spread from Taylor
Yep.
to you.
It's just so it's
It's
much
just-
better to
yeah.
call them that.
I think a lot of people.
Let's boycott the NFL and call them the San Diego.
Everybody
Chargers.
knows the Chargers as the San Diego Chargers.
going
Whatever.
back.
Los
They're
Angeles
not-
Chargers. Phillip Rivers, 21 of 44, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. He was not sacked.
Hey,
The line held it together.
He had an interception though.
Yeah. And as for Eli Manning, he was sacked 5 times. He was 21 of 36, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also lost 4 wide receivers, including, as breaking news has been spreading around, Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham Jr. is now out for the year with that fractured ankle.
No way.
So
Yeah.
It looked pretty nasty when it happened.
Yeah, it
he
looked
did not
really
look
bad.
happy when he was carted off the field.
Well, he was crying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Although Beckham cries a lot of other things, but too soon. My bad.
Eli Manning fumbled the ball twice, lost it once. This
think-
Giants team is just in disarray.
Yeah, they're in a downward spiral.
But do you think now, with the season nearly at the half, do you think the Giants tank and maybe get a quarterback, a future quarterback?
As soon as Eli, well, they did draft Davis Webb
Right.
in the I think 3rd round this year. Who's nothing to scoff at. I like Davis Webb, but until Eli starts saying that he doesn't think he has it anymore, I think they're gonna still try to win. I don't know if they have a shot to try to win without any receivers on the roster, but if you couldn't have told me that Brandon Marshall was hurt and I wouldn't have noticed because he's never on he doesn't do anything on the field anyway.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard hurt and Dwayne Harris also hurt.
You know who's coming now?
Gio.
Chad Johnson. It's
That-
time for
that's
Chad
probably not
Johnson
gonna
to get
happen.
in there.
They'll sign Colin Kaepernick at receiver before they sign Chad Johnson, I think. But
In other news, guys, this is
I want to shout out. I called Joey Bosa having 2 sacks in this game, and he did. So
Oh, okay. There you go.
my boy.
Outrageous claims.
Marvin Ingram also had 2 sacks, and
Outrageous claims.
someone else got a sack. I don't remember.
It was Darius Philon.
Darius Philon. He had 2
Philon.
sacks in a row for him because he was the only sack last week against the Eagles.
This is a non-score, but Dolphins offensive line coach resigned. Chris Forrester resigned after a video of him consuming white powdery substance,
Like powdered donuts.
something
Like
that.
crushed up Smarties.
Yeah, something like that. Emerged on on Reddit. I believe it was said like an ex-girlfriend posted the
Yeah.
video, and then it was on Reddit.
Now they're investigating it, right?
Yeah, I've seen the
Well, he
video.
resigned,
I've seen
so-
the video, and he had the dollar and just snorted up that
Yeah.
Smartie.
He,
Those powdered
Not a
donuts,
Smartie.
Real small.
Not a Smartie, but if you're Chris Forrester, this is just, and if the Dolphins, this is embarrassing. I mean, Chris Forrester, that's probably the best line he's seen in, 2 years?
had to be said. As
I had to say it. The Dolphins are terrible.
they won.
They're still terrible.
They beat the Chargers.
The Chargers are terrible.
It's okay.
The Chargers are terrible.
As
we don't talk about that.
But kind of, that's just terrible.
The Dolphins have had a lot of.
Issues.
Well, I guess you're in Miami, so. But I feel like
What are you saying about Miami?
over the past,
It's a powdered
a lot of
donut,
stuff to do in
Smartie,
Miami.
powdery heaven.
They've had a lot of coaching problems in the past few years. They had that Richie Incognito scandal thing,
Yep.
but that wasn't, I guess, a coaching problem. It was him.
Being a jerk.
There was a player problem, but when Philbin was there, I feel like there was a whole disaster going on in there. Like, no players respected him and stuff. Chad Johnson got arrested for domestic abuse or whatever when he was on the Dolphins for that week.
For that week.
It was actually like the whole offseason. But, yeah, the Dolphins need to get their act together, I think. They did win the game, so.
But a loss in the headlines.
Yeah.
Other notable games include the Bengals beating Buffalo, who was on a 2-game winning streak, 20-16. Andy Dalton was hurt that game, but he came back. The Jets with a 17-14 win over the Browns. The Panthers 27-24 win over Detroit. The Colts barely winning against the Niners. The Niners put up 17 in the fourth quarter, and they still lost.
And went to overtime.
Right.
Yep.
The Colts had a field goal.
What was the
See,
26-23.
yeah, so you ask about teams tanking. I think let's assume that there are 3 0 teams right now. It's the Niners, the Browns, and the Giants. Let's assume that it goes Niners, Browns, Giants in the draft this season. I think the Browns and the Niners have a legit shot to draft a quarterback. I'm not convinced the Giants will draft a quarterback. Maybe if the Giants get the number 1 pick, I actually think they might trade down.
Yeah, they
To
could probably
someone-
get some wide receivers.
To someone who would want them more. But other than the Browns and the Niners, I can't really think of a team that wants a quarterback. Maybe Jacksonville, but they're doing good, so
Jacksonville's not going to get a quarterback.
you don't think so?
No.
I don't think Cleveland will either. Not a year after.
Well, they benched
drafted
Kaiser.
but I think they know it's going to be a process with him.
I can't really think of any other teams off the top of my head that
Yeah.
would need a quarterback also. Maybe the Jets, but they're 3-2.
It's weird because we hear about all the quarterbacks in this draft, but when you
There's a
think
lot,
about
too.
Yeah.
I feel like, people say this every year, but this draft class for quarterbacks is really good, I think.
And we compared it last week to, 2011?
Yeah, but that turned out to not be so good.
No. And we hope this draft class is good. Other notable games include the Eagles, who are my pick to win their division. They won 34-7 over
I picked them to
Arizona.
go to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
I did
you
do
did.
that. Yeah,
You picked
I
it.
don't know what's wrong with me.
You were under the clock. Jacksonville 30-9 over a struggling Pittsburgh team. The Ravens beating a Derek Carr-less Raiders 30-17. And the Packers. You gave Aaron Rodgers too much time.
Apparently, a minute and 15 seconds is too much time. Man, Aaron Rodgers is. You said he was your MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably the
think
MVP
so.
right now.
35-31 win. It was a pretty good game. It was
It was a
close.
fun game to
It was
watch.
close, and then when the fourth quarter happened, yeah, that's when
Dak Prescott scored with a minute left, which to mere mortals is not enough time to score. But Aaron Rodgers on the other side
yeah.
can just
Throw
throw the
it.
ball in your hands at will. So
And then probably the game of the week, the Chiefs and the Texans. The Chiefs come up on top 42-34. Very impressive performance on both teams, but sad news for the Texans. They will not have J.J. Watt for this season. That's the second time in 3 years he's out for the year. Very sad.
he broke his leg, man.
Yeah.
You can't
can't-
blame him on injuries for that.
No, of course not. It's just very sad to
Yeah.
see such a talented defensive end. Probably one of the best defensive
He's
players.
been defensive MVP 2 out of the last 4 years.
And if you're the Texans now, you got to rely heavily on the offense now. in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Deshaun Watson did perform, I'd say.
He had
didn't
5
win the game,
touchdowns.
but
Yeah.
he's making the case for Rookie of the Year.
I think he definitely could get Rookie of the Year. How did Kareem Hunt do?
Kareem Hunt.
He had 100 yards.
Yeah,
or 107 on 29 carries.
So Kareem Hunt's always going to be in that conversation. I think Fournette now is in that conversation.
Fournette was very impressive against Pittsburgh.
He's leading that offense, I think.
No doubt about it.
He's the guy they give it to.
I saw a highlight of Leonard Fournette jumping over the line. I think it was 6 feet in the air.
Wow, really?
Jesus.
I saw a
Something.
highlight of him. He was running the ball and he juked past the guy and he saw a safety trying to come tackle him. And he waved his hand. He's like, "Come on, bring it on!" And then he plowed him. And then the safety he tackled him. So then the safety guy came up and was all excited. And Leonard Fournette shook his head. He's like, "You're dumb. I just plowed you."
I want to look this up really quick. Leonard Fournette's stature.
Oh, his build.
What do you guys think
I
it
think
is?
he's 6'1", I want to say 230.
6'1", 230.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'll say 6'2", 250.
250. Holy
I
moly!
don't know.
He's 6'1", 228,
Ooh, I was like 2
Wow,
pounds
you're
off.
close.
Come on.
Close.
and he's 22.
Yep.
Yeah.
4th overall pick this year.
His 40-yard dash is 4.1. He's very impressive.
4.1.
Or, I'm sorry, 4.51.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I was like, that is a record. But
And then rookie of the year is going to come down to those 3.
it's gonna be Deshaun Watson, I think.
Okay. Sean Watson it is.
He's put up what 10 touchdowns the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You agree with that, Tim? Sean Watson, rookie of the year?
I'm still going with Kareem Hunt, but Watson's number 2 right now.
I mean, other than Cooper Kupp, obviously.
I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson.
I don't know. If Fournette keeps putting up 120-plus yard games with a touchdown every time.
We'll see how it goes after the second half of the year. That's when the real
Actually,
talks
let me
will heat
check,
up.
but I think Kareem Hunt still has a decent amount of yardage on.
Yeah, he's got at least 600 yards right now, I think.
I think he's up over 600. Let me find this here.
But Todd Gurley was second last week with like 360 something, and then Dalvin Cook was third. So there's not really much competition behind Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, so Kareem Hunt has about 150 more yards rushing than Fournette does, but he has 1 less touchdown. So
And it says he's projected to have nearly 2,000 yards on the
I don't
ground
think
this
he'll
year.
get that. Someone's gonna stop him a game, and
I
then-
mean,
Someone needs to stop him.
he's had 1 game under 100 yards, and he still had 80 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That was against a tough
and he
Eagles
probably had
team.
like
Yeah.
50 receiving yards or something. He's gonna break the all-purpose yards, I think, because
Could see it
he catches the ball a lot too.
Yeah, they use him quite a lot for outside routes and screens.
I was gonna say something else too.
Make it quick.
I don't remember what it was. Oh, other than Aaron Rodgers, I think Alex Smith's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Nobody likes Alex Smith, but that's a true
It
statement.
is.
That's such a true statement.
Because I mean, Alex Smith, I don't think he has a pick this year.
No.
I think.
no, he has
11
one.
touchdowns.
He has one.
He has one.
Yeah,
Was it this game?
it was last week.
Oh,
I think it was last week Alex Smith threw a pick. I think he has only 1 interception.
okay.
I could be wrong.
Still, the ratio.
No, still hasn't thrown.
Oh, he hasn't thrown. Okay, my apologies.
11 touchdowns?
no picks.
What's his completion percentage?
76.6
Wow.
right now.
76. Come on,
Come on.
man. Okay.
Come on, mate.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap it up for episode 10. We made it to double digits, guys.
We made
Thank you for everybody who's been listening in. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter, Bread and Butter Sports Podcast, and then on Twitter at Bread and Butter Sports Pod, I believe.
It's just at Bread and Butter
Oh,
Pod.
at Bread and Butter Pod. Twitter at Bread and Butter Pod. Be sure to follow us on all those platforms. Quick little thing before we head out. Justin Verlander is now pitching for the Astros in his first career relief appearance as the Astros try to beat the Red Sox and go to the championship series. We will see you guys here on Wednesday. Signing off, I'm Zach Ferber. Alongside me, Taylor Enns, Tim Strong, and Richard Endall. Have a beautiful Monday afternoon. We'll see you on Wednesday.
A hinga dinga durgan.